Here we're taking a look at clearing, specifically individual clearing. So this is when you get the ball on your defensive end, maybe you're a midfielder, a defender, or even the goalie, and you are trying to get the ball upfield by running. Okay, so clearing the ball with your feet. Couple of key concepts that we want to focus on anytime we are clearing the ball. Number one, keep your feet moving. If you have the ball and you're in a clearing situation and you stop or even slow down, sometimes you're going to be in trouble. That's when the stick checks and the body checks are going to start coming. The double team is going to come and you're going to end up losing the ball. So number one, keep your feet moving. Number two, change direction to create space. Anytime you start to feel pressure from the riding team, change direction, use rolls, split dodges, zigzags. Changing direction will create space between you and the riding player so you have some room to operate. Number three, keep your eyes upfield as you're running, zigzagging, and changing direction. Make sure you're looking for open pass opportunities, and keep in mind that in most clearing situations, as long as you're not man up or man down, you have an extra player. The clearing team has the goalie, so there's an extra player on their half of the field. So that means someone's always open. So keep your eyes up as you're running, and you'll be able to find that open player to pass to. And if you're able to draw a double team, if you get two players coming to play you, well, that means two guys are open. If you draw a triple team, that means three guys are open. So make sure you're keeping your eyes upfield. So we're going to take a look at this clear for the white team. We're going to try and identify a couple of those rules that this player does well, and then a couple of rules that this player does not so well. So we'll take a look at the play here. We'll watch it full speed, and then we'll rewind and go through some of the rules. So the player ends up throwing not a great pass and losing the ball, and it ends up being a turnover to the blue team. So let's go back and take a look at a couple of the rules that we talked about. So player does a good job of getting open, catching a pass from the goalie, and now he is trying to clear upfield. So the first thing that we talked about, the first rule, was keep your feet moving. Don't stop, and try not to even really slow down unless you're changing direction. You have to slow down a little bit. So we'll watch this, and you'll see that this player does a really good job. His feet are constantly moving. Second rule we talked about was changing direction when you're under pressure, zigzagging. He's constantly zigzagging, moving, changing direction, creating space between him and the riding team. So the first two rules does a really good job of. Good job changing direction, and good job of keeping his feet moving. And that's why he's able to get past, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players from the opposing riding team, because he changes direction and keeps his feet moving. So those are the good things. Here's why the clear didn't work. 2 reasons. If you watch his eyes, watch his vision, this player is not looking for an open teammate to pass to. And even though he ends up drawing a double team, a triple team, he beats 5 guys. That means he has open teammates all over the place. He's not able to find one of those teammates, and eventually the defensive pressure, the riding team pressure, just becomes too much, and he ends up throwing not a great pass. So not a great job of keeping his eyes upfield. Second issue here, which we didn't mention in the beginning, is this player is not comfortable switching hands. So he is trying to clear the ball upfield past 5 players while keeping the stick in his right hand the entire time. And one of the most important things, one of the biggest benefits of switching hands is it makes it easier to protect your stick. By switching hands, you can keep your stick away from the riding player and keep the ball better protected. So we'll watch here, and you should notice, not really looking up for passes. He's just kind of focused on the players in front of him and dodging individually, and doesn't switch hands once, which limits where he can go and how he can play, and eventually the pressure just becomes too much and gets rid of the ball. So just remember those key concepts. Anytime you're in an individual clearing situation, keep your feet moving. Don't slow down. Don't stop. change direction when you're under pressure, zigzag, and while you're doing that zigzag, make sure you're switching hands so that your stick is protected and you have more options of where you can go. And make sure you're keeping your eyes upfield, and remember the magic rule of clearing. As long as you're in a not a man up or a man down situation, you always have the extra player. So just look to get the ball while you're running, get the ball to your open teammate. If you draw a double team or a triple team, you've got lots of open teammates. So just get the ball to the open player. If you follow those rules, no matter what the clearing situation is, you should be successful most of the time in your clear.